Good evening. In furtherance to our yesterday's State Executive Committee meeting, today we had a very extensive meeting with all the allied associations with our Andhra Pradesh Government Employees Association, which we formed in the name of an Aikya Vedika. And we have discussed various issues which are concerning to the employees and teachers and pensions also. So primarily there are widespread demands about the economical legitimate financial benefits of employees, teachers, pensioners, which are unpaid and accumulated to a tune of nearly about 25,000 crores. The figure which is confirmed by the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister himself on the floor of the Assembly and also disclosed in the last budget. But unfortunately, the government did not indicate anything about the way forward of the payment schedule about the accumulated liability and arrears. So that has become a major cause of concern for all the employees community, which is normally represents the middle class and lower middle class of the society. So there were apprehensions that whether that huge amount of crores will come back to employees or not. So that's why we urge the government. We are making two demands to the government. One is there is a cabinet meeting was scheduled on day after tomorrow, that is on Tuesday. The government should officially make a statement that the liability arrears of employees will be paid in due course by giving a confidence to the employees. On the other hand, the government should take a decision in ordering the finance department that for every individual employee their service registers will be maintained, and the respective drawing and disbursement officer should calculate the liability pending to the employee, each individual employee, as of 31st March preceding financial year, and that should be recorded as in the form of an entry in the individual service register, so that it will be a certification from the government about the pending liability. So regarding the other issues, we are also demanding the government to constitute a pay revision commission headed by a sitting or retired judicial officer, supported by a bureaucrat and one expert of economy. So that is another demand. And another issue is the present government has to explore the possibility of constituting some legally conciliation mechanisms. There are no conciliation mechanism between the employer and employee in the Andhra Pradesh state. There were certain forums created by previous regimes in the name of Joint Staff Council, which has become defunct nowadays. And more so because they are not constituted by legislation, and that has no authority. Whatever outcome is there, it is not enforceable. So that is why we urge upon the government to constitute a legally validated through legislation one conciliation mechanism. This practice was there in the many advanced countries like UK and other countries in the name of White-knee councils. So in the similar analogy, we want the government to constitute. Another aspect what we are requesting the government is about the re-establishment of the service tribunal. There was an Andhra Pradesh Administrative Tribunal which was there in force till previous regime, which was established way back in 1989 by Nandamuri Tarak Ramarao Garu. The previous regime, without consulting any stakeholder, abolished that. So now we want to restore it back, because there's the very intended purpose of Constitution Amendment of 323A inserting providing competency to establishment of tribunals is the hike and rise of the litigation in the various high courts. The high courts are not in a position to bear the heavy load as on this day. And the service, if you look at the service law is day by day is growing, litigation is growing. Previously, courts did not consider adjudication of a transfer order, because a transfer is just a movement from one place to another place, and it is an incident in service. That was the observation of courts. Nowadays, because of the changed atmosphere, the degradation of attitude by all India service officers, the transfers are made by selectively pick and choose, discriminating the employees. So the discrimination is attracting the courts to interfere in even the transfer orders. So that's why there is a huge pile-up of litigation. So there is every need to re-establish the administrative tribunal. Similarly, the government should also think of conducting elections to the employees associations with whom they have to legitimately negotiate. As on today, there is no such mechanism. Every association is claiming themselves as the leaders, and every government in place, according to their personal and political choices, one government is dealing with one association, another government is dealing with another association because of the leaders' caste, community, region, religion, etc., etc. So that is not a healthy this thing. So definitely government should come forward to conduct a election to the employees associations. So one point. Another major thing is the government also think about purification of service conditions and service rules. There is no, if you see, there are nearly as many as 104 different special services are there in the state government of Andhra Pradesh. Different departments are there. Every department, every category has got its own respective service rules. But there is no common rules. So sometimes there is a conflicting to each other, and in one department one method is adopted, another department another method is adopted, and the recruitment process also is differently designed, and in most of the cases it is not in consonance with the presidential order which localized cadre organization scheme that was envisaged. And finally, if you come into about the CPS, the major issue today across the country and more particularly in Andhra Pradesh also, the CPS employees are hesitating over a period of time for scrapping or restoring back to OPS system. So, of course, the previous government assured and did not consider, and they made a GPS Act. This government is not spelling out whether they are accepting the previous government GPS or not. This government has promised us that in 1 year they will give some solution. So, the government has to spell out what is their stance. So, in that way, in that process, the CPS employees associations are on 1st May, they are staging to some protest program across the state in the name of Chaitanya Yatra across all the 26 districts. Today we have decided to join with them. Another thing is, on September 1st, they are going to take a Padayatra from Guntur to Amravati, in which all our association office bearers and all the constituent associations of our Aikyvedika will also take part. Thank you.